So obviously this is a comedy film. So my first question is, how long did it take to write this?
So 20 minutes. I went to a film festival. It was not this one, I should point out. But no, it wasn't this one at all. And it was just chaos from the moment I arrived. All the things that happened with the dad not being available and the guy there running it. And it was just, he hadn't got a key speaker, he hadn't got someone to give out the awards. And I just thought, this is awesome. And more to the point, crazy filmmakers. We think we exaggerated there, but they were not even a par on that. So I quickly wrote down some notes, and then within a week, I think we did working draft. And then we refined it a little bit from that. But even now, just watching it up there, I would much rather, if I had a chance, ladies and gentlemen, I'd go back in there. I saw some edits I would make it a little tighter, but it's out now, I have no choice.
Would you say that out of all of the other projects and genres that you've done, would you say that comedy has been one of the harder ones because of how, like, punchy it would have to be? Because if you kind of miss one with the audience, you kind of...
Absolutely. So the problem with doing comedy is you automatically lose 50% of your audience, only because you may not get the same humor that I have. Everyone's a different point of view. So you take that into account, and even now when I'm looking at the opening scenes in the bar, really well shot by Michael. But I'm only one there and I'm going to change it. I've got some ideas for make it punchier. And then the scene with Farmer Will and Jess. You know, it's really difficult, but what I felt with the movie, I want to change those scenes initially, but as the audience started to laugh, I think when we had He's Definitely Something with a Small C, and that scene, a joke that worked with most of the audience, I felt we were a little bit on rails then, and I could relax a bit more.
Okay, Jessica, so you played multiple different characters in this film. So, how did you kind of differentiate yourself between the roles? Was there any like headspace you got into, or?
Mainly for probably Mysterious, there was a different headspace, so I had to like actually hear you from the back, so that you can also might be.
Immediately know, Jess.
Is that better? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think for Mysterious, I did have to, because it was like drop the comedy, and it's much more like serious and a completely different tone. So for that, I had to definitely think about it, take a step back, and do something different. But yeah, with the fun ones, it was really fun and good. And you play with the comedy, and they were good together.
From experience, from what I've filmed as well, when I write comedy, most people tend to break a take. Is that how many times, or who laughed the most during the take? Who's the worst?
I am the worst offender. And the one that really got me, and I'm shocked earlier on, it doesn't happen that early in the movie, is Tug in the cocaine sequence. Now, he didn't tell me what he was going to do. It's in the movie, it says how the dialogue is there. But he had spoken to the sound guy and he said, I'm going to go mental. So the sound guy already had the heads up. Me and Michael were behind the camera with Christy, the camera person. And he literally, on that first take, he just went, and I think most of the first take is in there. And I literally, you see the camera shaking. And that's because I'm leaning next to Christy and she's laughing. And she's trying to hold it together. And we're just both laughing that first. I don't know, were you laughing at that cocaine take? He's very stoic, this man. He's probably worried, have I did that one?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did a lot of the time the sex. The sex movie was funny because Jess is a classically trained actress. We're saying, yeah, put on this outfit, let's have lots of body shots. Natasha Tozzini is quite used to that. She doesn't win in Blue Blood and Honey, so she is used to being a little bit more sexy and sultry. And there were times, Jess was brilliant all the way through, but Natasha sometimes had to go, Tash, bring that back a little bit. She went a little too far into character. So those times as well, I was giggling my ass off.
Yeah.
Like a schoolboy, it's terrible. Shouldn't laugh during stuff.
There are so many like different topics in this film. Obviously, like the sex. How do you like begin to write loads of different, like not just the sex, just other parts? Like what goes through your head when you're writing this stuff?
So what I always worry about, and this is one of the good things about a festival, there's any filmmakers out there. Look, you have to see your film with an audience, and what the Romford Film Festival really does well, is allow you to see your film with an audience. Jess and obviously Michael are people that I know well, and they're reasonably critical, but no one is more critical than an audience you don't know, who doesn't owe you anything. So you understand then pacing, and you understand when the scene is working, when it's going a bit too slow. So when I was writing this, obviously, as I said, there was some gaps in there, and I knew we were going to fill it with interviews, and I knew we were going to fill it with the full films that we did in there. So that's why, whenever I get stuck, or the Alan dad conversation got a bit boring for me, or some of the background scenes, the romance, I then switched it and just put it in. It's probably why I'm nominated for Best Edit. They were like, and there was a really good edit on that. If you noticed by the way, purely happenstance, I would love to take credit, but I can't. There's an edit in the awards where it's best editing, and you have a little bit of the movie, then it cuts straight. That was luck more than judgment, I would like to say. Because the original edit of the awards, when we first cut that together, was 12 minutes long. And trust me when I tell you, no one's going to sit for 12 minutes long. There was a lot more awards. I think Jess won Best Costume or something for Mysterious. But we had to cut it down, and that's where we then collaborated with other editors, because I was struggling to get down to even the length it is now. And the one editor came up to me, PRP, who I'd worked with on Irish Angel, and he said to me, Daniel, how about you never seen Tug win? So we went on that principle. Tug won 3 awards, I think, in the original cut. Best Actor, and a few other things. And he did these, Baz is a fantastic actor to work with, he did these amazing speeches, but the film, we wanted to get to the end. We were bored, we wanted to get to the pagan part, which people seem to, definitely Kevin won. But it's no point having a great ending, and I tell young filmmakers this, no point having a great ending if the rest of the movie's crap, or you're not entertained by it, or you don't earn that ending, but I feel we did, you made it.
Okay, when I was watching it, correct me if I'm wrong, but Alan's dad, the introduction to Alan's dad, was he based on Bill Nye's character from Love Actually? Because I noticed like a little reference.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
listen, good artists borrow, great artists steal. And I steal from everybody.
Okay, do we have any questions from anyone in the audience?
I'm actually.
Well, wait, 2 seconds. I'm not coming.
I'm actually curious about the ending of the mysterious death of Lord Harrington. Do you think there's going to be, well, if you would be interested, would you do a spin-off on how that the person who really likes the ending came up with this idea?
So it's a mixture of 2 things. So there is a movie called The Mysterious Death of Lord Harrington, and some of the movies that are in there, like Mysterious, like Gods, are scripts that I've written that for whatever reason, financing or other reasons, we couldn't get them off the ground. So I just stole the best bits from them and popped them in there. Also, there's a movie in there, my first ever movie I did with Michael Miles, Hey Mr. DJ, and a lot of nostalgia. We both looked a lot, darker in our hair back then. I had certainly more of it. But that's what we did, just to bring that in. So Mysterious, there is a proper ending. But when I went to this festival, the filmmaker that was there complained. I don't know if you saw earlier on or you remember, the projector kept going off. So that happened during my movie as well, Irish Angel. And I was narrating, because it would go off and then come back on, but obviously the movie's playing. So the people in the audience, I was just narrating for them what was happening while the projector was off. Anyway, this other filmmaker, who was obviously very much in his backside, he complained all the time that it missed the ending, and there was apparently some shot or something. So it's a mixture of both, if that answers your question.
Look. Anyone else? Put your hands up, come on.
I'll project from here because I've already gone.
Right.
So, actually, how long did it take you to film that? What was your...
So we filmed for 2 weeks. So the first week was all the Worst Film Festival stuff, all the stuff in the hotel, the interviews. And then the second week, we had a ball filming the full films. mysterious gods, and Michael. I don't know why he's not got a cinematography award Romford Film Festival, because he did 7 movies in one. But one of the good things was that the movies were supposed to be crap.
Yes.
So normally Mike will say, you can't use that shot to me, or the lighting's wrong, or whatever, and I would just say to him, it's a Chuck Speedman movie, baby! Let's move on! And, I don't know if we can use that later. Any thoughts on that, on the 6, 7 movies that you created in the second week?
With the time frame especially, and also we were working, when we were filming in the hotel, it's a small hotel, we have 1 bedroom, dining room and 3 public rooms. We had to make them look completely different every single time for every film and the actual underlying film. So trying to change the lighting, change the look of the room so you didn't notice they were all the same room was one of the problems. But,
absolutely. So the second week was the best thing, and I will tell you this for nothing. If we'd have filmed The Mysterious Death of Lord Harrington first, so one of the problems with Mysterious was the budget that we were trying to achieve, because it's a period piece, because it's werewolves, it has fantastic actors, but we could never seem to get the budget to work to get off the ground. But we started filming, we just ordered some costumes off Amazon, because it just worked. And then when I saw it working that cheaply, if we'd have done that first, there'd be no worse film festival. I would have just finished it on low budget. Mysterious Death of Lord Harrington, we'd have just done it. But that's one of my regrets. And my favourite shot in that is the shot of the bell tower with them 2 behind, yourself and all. So it was 2 weeks, and then we went back for pickups the following November with Will the Farmer and Jesse Winter and Mark Wingett. The legendary Mark Wingett, Quadrophenia, and Jim Carver from the Bill, who came in and agreed to be Gabriel. And he did, and it was good because we brought in Will the Farmer, as brilliant as he is in Love Island, and he's clearly stolen the axe that I covet so much. And he clearly has a stunning fiancée now. He's not an actor by any way, shape, or form, and he was very clear with us at the start. So that's, on those pickups, you could relax, you could chill a little bit more. And Mark Wingett very kindly worked very closely with Will to get a reasonable performance. The rest of the performance is edited. Certainly isn't my direction.
So 2 weeks with some pickups.
Yeah. So in effect, what's that? 17 days in total. But yeah, it was meant to be a run and gun film, and I think if I had it over again, the sequences in the hotel, I would probably do a lot more moving shots. The movie we've done at the minute, Hunting Party, like we're really getting into things like gimbals and stuff, and we've done some moving. But on Hunting Party, if you look at it, it's on Amazon, Apple, and Google. A little plug there for my current movie. It's the camera's moving all the time. So I think if we were ever to do something similar to that again, I would have the camera moving all the time, just to give you that immediacy.
I've got a question.
Please.
No, Mike, come on.
Please.
Meet us one. Thank you.
I've got 2 actually. So
super. Hey.
Is all right. We've heard from the filmmakers, but what was it like for you acting in this film?
Very fun. Luckily, all of the cast got along really, really well. So when we were all there together, it didn't feel like we were working. So everyone got along, so it was so much fun for us. So yeah, I think everyone loved it there. And obviously, done it. Great.
one of the problems was poor sound recorders, because every time we try to do a shot, everybody, all the artists who weren't working on that scene were all chatting away constantly, and so ended to say, please everybody stop talking, because they just got on with each other so well.
A lot of laughs.
Yeah.
And even like Paul, the sounding, I don't think he'd read the script all the way through, so when I kept coming out in complete different costumes and thought, what is this about, what is going on? So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seemed like there was really good chemistry on screen that come across.
Yeah.
And the other question is, it's there was a scene in there when the son said about the buffets for the film crew, and then later on Tuck said, "Oh look, I've laid on this buffet." So was that something that you got from this film festival you went to, the sort of cheapness of, oh, a buffet?
Absolutely. Oh my God. So it was one of them festivals where you pay for the dinner, and that's how it made its money. And there are different festivals out there. The irony is we did get selected at the festival that this was based on. And there is a real life Alan, there is a real life Gabriel. And I was like, we were asking each other, I was asking Michael, have they seen it? Do they know? And I was worried they were going to get it, because I'm a nice person really, and I wouldn't want to offend anyone. So I was worried when I got there, and our film showed on the last night of their festival. So for the first couple of days, I was waiting for them to come up and have a pop at me. Anyway, we showed it, and I saw the real life Alan. He puts the movies on, and I could see his face, and he literally looked over at me in the audience, just going. He recognised everything, and what I pointed out to him was, "You got the girl in the end." He's going, "But yeah, thank you." But they were really cool with it once he knew. I mean, it cost me a pint, but I but yeah, thank you for that great question. Thank you. Is there any others, Kevin?
I don't know, is that? I've got one for you. If you guys, as a director and a DOP and an actress, could remake any classic movie that you absolutely love, however that movie is now solely consisting of puppets, what movie would you like to remake?
For me, Cool as Ice, Vanilla Ice.
Oh,
Baby.
oh.
Ice, Ice, Baby. You know it makes sense.
You're
he loves that.
You're in my wheelhouse.
Jess?
Scream.
Which character would you play? Would you be the
One that survives, because I always die in everything.
Yeah, sorry, we did kill Rolf. Michael? Michael's a connoisseur. He goes all the way back to Supergirl the movie in 1984 with the Cell Gangs. Come on, Michael, it must be a classic movie you want to remake. Maybe Hey Mr. DJ would go back and remake that.
Battleship Potomacan?
Say again?
Battleship Potomacan?
I think there's been a couple of technical remakes of that, but they haven't actually been out there remakes. I might be incorrect like that, but that's a good call. Kevin, are we good?
Good job, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying, and for the few of you who laughed, thank you so much.